The FBI is finally looking into the alleged murder of Aaron Carter, and allegedly none other than Sean Diddy Carter is the one responsible. The details of Aaron Carter's murder have creepy similarities with the death of Diddy's ex-wife Kim Porter and the alleged murder of Aaliyah Jay-Z's ex-girlfriend. Is it all just a coincidence, or is something more sinister happening here?
I go on my Twitter and I see people saying, "You look like you have AIDS, you should go die." I don't understand how I dedicated 22 years of my life to my fans, and now they turn on me.
Do you regret ever getting involved in...
I didn't have a choice. It got bad when I was about 15 years old, because when I did MTV Cribs, the day that I had to go show off that house, my mom and my dad told me, "We're getting a divorce, but you still have to go do this." I had to go show off all the stuff my whole life that was going to be taken away from me.
Aaron Carter's death back in November of 2022 has long been surrounded by controversy. The singer, who allegedly died after overdosing on Xanax, had released a video just prior to his death saying that his life was in danger and that there were people after him. Suddenly, one day after Diddy's birthday, Aaron dies and it's an accident?
Aaron Carter begged for her in front of the world. He begged for financial support to help get him a private security team to keep him alive. He said on numerous occasions, "If anything happens to me, I promise you, I am not vital." And no one said anything.
Silence breaker for my brother, who is a artist, and they're after my life. My whole family is after my life, and they're setting me up. And Sony Records owes me $3.5 million, and they don't want to pay me, and it would be in their better interest, just like Michael told me. They owe me money, and they're trying to off. And I'm begging you, and I'm pleading you, help me raise $100,000 as soon as I can, so I can move to an undisclosed location where I am safe. They had cops come and check for a rope in my garage, saying I wanted to hang myself.
Who were the people that Aaron thought were coming after him? And why are there so many similarities between the deaths of Diddy's ex-wife Kim Porter and Aaron Carter? According to the autopsy performed on Aaron Carter's body, Aaron supposedly died in a bathtub after overdosing on Xanax, but they never found any water in his lungs. Plus, even his mom thinks the police are trying to cover up a murder. There are rumors that Aaron Carter was actually murdered and then left in the bathtub, similar to what we saw with Aaliyah and Kim Porter.
Aaron Carter was found dead in a bathtub in his home in Los Angeles last November. Since that time, TMZ has reported the LA County coroner did not find water in his lungs, meaning he didn't drown. Carter's mother, Jane Schneck, posted photos on Facebook that show the bathroom where her son was found. She wrote on Facebook, "Because of my son's mental illness and prescription issues, they, the cops, just wanted it to be something easy that they didn't have the time or inclination to address." Schneck wants a more thorough investigation. She wrote that her son was receiving threats from many people, and she believes there were people out there who wanted to harm him.
Aaron had always been a victim of abuse, first by his own family and then by Hollywood. Allegedly, when Aaron first stepped into the music industry at the age of 9, he was abused by the Peeper in the industry. This is what eventually led to Aaron developing severe mental health problems and even becoming a habitual user.
But your system is still so weak that it can't fight off, a yeast infection.
Sorry, my part is just like, so you guys got to understand out there, like, this is like, no, I know this is kind of like, it's giving me anxiety, okay? So my heart is racing. I did not take any medications before I came here. I haven't in actually a couple of days, because I wanted to try to wean myself off of this.
But then one of the things I also noticed when you met with Dr. Jorge, you opened up and expressed your concerns that you're worried you have HIV.
Absolutely.
I know you recently came out as bisexual.
Yes.
Is that one of the other reasons it's had you concerned? Because you admitted on the tape piece that you say, "I haven't always been safe sexually."
Absolutely, no, and that's a fact. I haven't always been safe sexually, and I have no qualms in saying that. It is the toughest thing to deal with.
Aaron Carter dropping a major bombshell on Thursday, alleging on Twitter that his late sister Leslie, who died in 2012, sexually abused him when he was a child. In a series of tweets, the singer explained, quote, "My sister raped me from the age of 10 to 13 years old when she wasn't on her medications." He also alleged, "I was abused not only sexually by her, but by my first 2 backup dancers when I was 8 years old, and my brother abused me my whole life. ET has reached out to Nick Carter for comment. Aaron claims the abuse question came as a result of his late sister Leslie's mental health issues. He says she suffered from bipolar disorder and took lithium to treat it, claiming that when she was not on her meds, she did things that she never meant to do. As a result, Aaron says he spent the last 15 years of his life going to therapy.
The abuse that Aaron Carter suffered throughout his life while working in the music industry is something that multiple other child celebrities went through. There is a disgusting culture of sexual abuse in Hollywood, and celebrities like Aaron Carter and Justin Bieber are just a few of the names that have been revealed so far. Just like Aaron Carter, Justin Bieber was also taken advantage of, and the parallels in their troubles with use and mental health issues suggest that they both went through the same sexual abuse.
Let's be honest. He took Justin Bieber there. Diddy had been trying to get to Bieber for a minute, and his management was backing him off. But it wasn't until Usher took over management and had guardianship and gave temporary guardianship to the diddler for 48 hours. Think about that. He had already been to the hospital. That situation that Gene was talking about. And you still took Bieber there. But you got custody of him first. Diddy had already tried. They wouldn't let him. Actually, someone made reference to the fact that Diddy trying to get at Bieber the way he was trying to get at Bieber was looking a little predatory. And then Usher came in and discovered it and managed him and got custody of him and promised to look after him. And then he sent him to the diddler. Does that sound like a good guy?
It's horrible.
Does that sound like a good guy? Now that we know what Diddy's really like, what kind of fool do you gotta be to take another boy, another talented boy, and put him in your place so it ain't gotta be you no more? Because that's what pet do. They get victims, and then once they get to a certain age and they get too old for them to enjoy them, they send them out to go get other young kids. Now, if Usher is a procurer, and if Usher knew what was gonna happen to any of those young children that he took to the Flavor Freak off, is he a good guy? Especially considering what happened to him, especially considering that he sat with Howard Stern, and Howard Stern said, "Will you send your kids to Puffy's Flavor Camp?" And his immediate response was, "Hell no!" So it's good enough for everybody else's kids, but it's not good enough for yours.
Aaron's mother has mentioned multiple times that her son was murdered, and the case needs to be reopened. There are striking similarities in how Aaron died, and some other people in the music industry have been taken down. Their deaths are made to look like accidents or suicides, and people with no health issues suddenly disappear. In reality, there is actually a much darker truth beneath this veil of lies, and all of this is going to be exposed soon after the recent case of Diddy and his co-conspirators.
What was Kim's state? Why did, and in the report, didn't it say she had blood on the pillow and bruises or something like that? The case needs to be reopened, man. The case really needs to be reopened. Because if that girl was there and she said that Kim was all right, what happened from 8 to 11? And why did all Kim's stuff come up missing?
I ain't know any of that, man. I never heard of that. So when they found her, she had bruises and a lot of her stuff was missing?
Bro, it's a lot of suspect things going on. First and foremost, in our day and time, other than our house key, a woman gonna keep her phone and you know, she got a lot of different purses, but everybody always grab their phone. Why come right till today, right now, nobody knows what Kim Porter phone is? And they know they had iPhone. Why have nobody went to the cloud and got the text messages and the things off her phone? Because everything that came in that phone is text, and you know your iPhone find my phone. Nobody tried to find the phone? I would love for her son, who has all the rights, to go to and get all the stuff out the clouds. Her last text, who she calling, who she spoke to, who called her, where was the last place her phone was at before it was destroyed and cut off. It would tell you that too. I'm not a medical, nor I was an investigator on that case. I don't believe that an individual with her, I want to say, financial status would lay up in the house and die of pneumonia without a doctor or some kind of medical person responsible. So I think it may have been some, I guess, foul play. But we need to get what the fire department, what the coroners, what the pathologists, and everybody, you know, say.
So you feel like she was murdered?
I feel that it was some foul play in her death. A lot of foul play. Why would you take somebody's phone? Why would you take somebody's tablet or her computer? It was some foul play. Why is there blood on her sheets? Why is things are happening that nobody spoke on? Why is that a person can say that they left at 8 in the morning and Kim was alive, and 11, she's dead? Some foul play, bro.
If it was foul play, why would somebody want Kim Porter killed?
It's a couple of women in this industry, and for their sake, I will not mention their name. Listen to me. There's a couple of women, probably more than a handful, but I know about 4 of them that knows everybody's dirty secrets. And if those secrets get exposed and tell what some of these guys and some of these people were really doing behind the closed doors, in the boardroom, in and out the closet, that their life would be in danger. Because men wasn't men, and women were acting like men. And that's all I'm gonna say.
Jaguar Wright has also talked about how Diddy is directly involved in the alleged cover-up of his ex-wife's murder, and the case needs to be reopened. Diddy has a pattern of getting rid of anyone who stands in his way, and that's how he got rid of every executive at Uptown Records who stood in his path. How else do you think Diddy went from being an intern to being the face of a multi-billion-dollar production studio in such a short time? More importantly, how is everyone that stood in Diddy's way dead?
Uptown Records started with 5 people. Andre Harrell, I'll Be Sure, Heavy D, and Puffy. And Kim is dead. Heavy D is dead. Andre Harrell is dead. The only two left are Puffy and Al almost died. Heavy D was found dead, face down in the heart attack. Andre Harrell, heart attack. Kim died from pneumonia, but there's the first coroner's report that said that she died. It was ruled a homicide and they found toxins in her body. Andre was writing a book right before he died. Heavy D was working on a book before he died. Kim Porter was working on a book before she died. And Al B. Sure was working on the documentary of his life.
What makes a Puffy party so...
Come on, man. You can't explain. It's a phenomenon.
That was Jamie back in 2003 at a Combs MTV Movie Awards after party. At the time, it looked like he and Combs were tight. Now, according to eyewitnesses who attended the tapings of his Netflix special, Fox allegedly claims Combs was responsible for his mysterious hospitalization in 2023.
Jamie Foxx states in the special that Diddy was responsible for what happened to him, and he is the one that called the FBI on him.
Producer and director Choke No Joke says he went to the first and third of Fox's 3 tapings, which took place October 3rd, 4th, and 5th in Atlanta, and that Fox allegedly blamed Diddy for his illness. Question is, was he joking?
It's gotta be a joke though, right?
I don't think he was joking. Y'all can determine was he joking or not when you see the show. I'm a new comedian, right? I've learned, I know when somebody's setting up a punchline, and I know when you're serious.
The investigation against Diddy is bound to uncover some of the worst secrets in Hollywood, and the diary of Kim Porter is allegedly the biggest piece of evidence that is going to tie everything together. There are reports that Kim wrote down the names of everyone involved with Diddy in her diary, and also mentioned exact details about how Daddy was covering up his tracks. She planned to take this evidence to the FBI, and that's why Diddy got rid of her. Now, one of Kim Porter's closest friends, Courtney Burgess, has come forward with 8 flash drives that allegedly hold 6 freak-off tapes and a digital version of Kim Porter's diary.
There are many people and many entities involved, and we're going to follow this evidence wherever it takes us. We will find the silent accomplices. We will expose the enablers who enabled this conduct behind closed doors. We will pursue this matter, no matter who the evidence implicates. These brave victims who have stepped forward deserve nothing less. The biggest secret in the entertainment industry that really wasn't a secret at all has finally been revealed to the world. The wall of silence has now been broken, and victims are coming forward. Our team has had at this point more than 3,285 individuals contact us with people claiming to have been victimized by Sean Combs. After vetting, we now represent 120 individuals who intend to bring civil claims in civil court against Sean Diddy Combs, as well as claims against many other individuals and entities that we will name as defendants as we file these individual cases.
And those statements include descriptions of what the witness says he saw on those tapes. So I asked him about that, and he answered what he could, given the limitations imposed on him after testifying before the grand jury. Out of those 8 videos, 8 celebrities, 6 men and 2 women, how many of those 8 celebrities were close to being underage or potentially underage?
2 males.
2 males. And of those 8 celebrities, how many of them were intoxicated or under the influence of?
This is going to be all speculation. I just want to preface it by he wouldn't know if they were. Right.
Sure.
Appear to
Let me
be,
rephrase
right,
it.
Based on, yes.
Understand. Out of the 8 celebrities who were recorded having intimate relations with Sean Combs, how many of them appeared to be either inebriated or intoxicated or under the influence?
All of them. All of them.
Out of those 8, How many appear to be potentially victimized? How many might have been victimizing?
I think all, to be honest, all.
Were victims
They
or
victims.
were perpetrating?
Victims.
They were all eight were victimized,
Yeah,
meaning
victim.
this was happening to them and they were inebriated.
Right. Not knowing, I guess, how much proof it was in it, what they was doing.
And of those 8, how many seemed to be potentially minors?
2 to 3, possibly 3.
Thanks for watching. Go to joinnn.com to find News Nation on your screen. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of News Nation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.
No one knows the exact details of what Diddy's ex-wife revealed in her diary, and how many people are going to go to prison as a result. Only one thing is certain for now, and it's that Diddy is not getting away this time.
You made a lot of allegations, right? Are you expected to eventually turn those things over, or
Well, that's what we're going to head over to do now. So we have a hearing now to determine what we're going to do in terms of what documents we'll have to turn over and what documents we do not have.
So why were you in court today?
Just to give testimony to the grand jury. He was subpoenaed by the court, so as we all know, if you don't answer a subpoena, the marshals will come to your house as they came to his house and they will bring you here. So that's why we're here today.
I know you can't mention celebrities per se. You did mention some in the interview. So just to clarify, you can back that up with actual factual footage.
We have, it's things that we have, but we got to go to the other courthouse. So I don't know if that's any more questions, but we got another hearing to go.
Are you nervous, or do you feel cool?
Nah, I ain't never nervous. The only thing that's fair to me is God.
I know you did mention what was on the flash drive before. Would you be able to kind of go over that now, or is that something that you can't discuss?
No, we're trying to just go to discuss that now, what we will be able to talk to in terms of what was available and what was on those flash drives.
Okay.
But it was the book, so.
So it is Kim Porter's book, but not necessarily some of the stuff with the celebs that were mentioned besides.
It's hers. Nobody touched it.
Oh, so it is her official book.
Yes. Nobody,
and no one touched it.
Nobody altered it. Nothing.
So it's not the copy that the gentleman said that he was selling before. No.
No.
It's 2 different copies. That one was edited, and we have the original copy.
So you're saying that the other copy was an actual real copy, even though the family said it wasn't?
It was a derivative work.
It was edited. The only way the family say that is because I forgot his name. I'll be sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. And besides that, how they know? A lot of stuff their mother did, they didn't know. And I'd like to say apologize to the mother and the family for the picture being on front of it.
Right.
You understand? I didn't put it there.
Right.
So, they got to worry about bigger things.
Right.
Than what her diary was. You understand?
Right.
They should have started worrying when he was beating her.
Right.
When you start worrying about your mother after the fact.
Right.
Now that Diddy is going down, the people who helped him are worried. They know what's coming for them, and they know that don't last long in prison.
There are a lot of people in Hollywood who are probably worried about which Diddy parties they were at and what was going on. That's not to say that they were necessarily even involved in any of the things that are alleged by the U.S. Attorney's Office. But if you're at that party and it turns out that that's when he set up one of these freak-off sex parties, or that it was going on in another room and you didn't know about it, there's a good chance that you're going to be called by the U.S. Attorney's Office. And certainly if you were involved, you would get a call, because they're going to want to know everything you want to know and may even want you to be a witness. I just think, we're just starting to scratch the surface of what this case, this case is going to touch and involve. And the feds have said that this remains an open investigation. There could be more charges for Diddy. There could be more charges for other people involved. And usually the way this works is once they find out other people are involved or were witnesses, they bring them in and they sort of lean on them, and it's sort of like, you're going to cooperate with us, or there's a possibility that you could face charges. So this is going to be a slow developing a case here because we're just getting started, and I don't see how this trial begins anytime before next year.
Attorney Tony Busby has also mentioned how he's bringing more than 36 civil cases against Diddy, and he plans to make everything public.
We intend to name people in these lawsuits. We're not going to do it in interviews. We're not going to do it, without doing our due diligence, because obviously, these types of allegations are very hurtful to people if they're not true, and very hurtful, frankly, if they are true. But if they're true, you shouldn't have been in the room and you shouldn't have been participating. So I anticipate that we're going to start filing lawsuits, and it may not be big names at first, but we have a long list of names, and you might imagine in situations like this, that when a victim tells us that this person was in the room or this person participated, we want to do as much due diligence as humanly possible before we file that case, because in the United States, in almost every state, public filings are in fact public, and when you name somebody in a lawsuit, the press is going to pick it up, and we're aware of that. So we're going to make sure that we dot our I's and cross our T's, and I expect that there will be some people named in these lawsuits that will raise some eyebrows.
Details of the crimes that Diddy committed and how he abused underage children are disgusting. It's horrifying to imagine that this is what Aaron went through, and it's what he had to live with even at the end.
Another instance, another minor, told allegedly by Sean Combs that he would make him a star, but he needed to visit with him in private about it, away from his parents. Once they were in a private area, allegedly Mr. Combs made the victim perform oral sex upon him. Another incident, an individual 15 years old at the time, flown to New York City to attend a party, was and then taken into a private room, allegedly in the presence of Mr. Combs, where this female individual, minor, was raped, and then other individuals took turns raping her. Another individual, 26 at the time of the occurrence, was picked up allegedly by Mr. Combs and several other people in a black SUV from the airport, was given one drink in the SUV, and then literally woke up the next day not knowing what had happened, but with pain and damage to both her vagina and her anus, where she then went to the hospital. She was missing her underwear and her shoes. Another instance, an individual, this time not a minor, attended a group dinner, allegedly with Sean Combs in Miami. She wasn't drinking because she was pregnant, but whatever she drank at the table, apparently, at least according to her, was laced with something. She blacked out, and she woke up in the same bed, again allegedly, with Mr. Combs in his mansion in Miami. Her vagina and her anus were torn and sore.
Interestingly, Kim Porter's diary isn't the only evidence that the feds can use. One of Diddy's alleged victims that was actually shot by Diddy back in 1999 is willing to come forward and have the bullet that Diddy used extracted from her face.
Supporters of Sean Diddy Combs have come forward since our interview with Natanya Rubin, and you remember we talked to her. She says that Diddy is the one who shot her at that club. But the supporters are now saying that Diddy didn't even want to take a plea deal in the 1999 club shooting because he was, quote, so sure of his innocence. They also said that information from someone who is claiming things that aren't true, who's looking for a payday. They said payday is not going to change that. Natanya Rubin joins us once again now. Natanya, we appreciate your time again. First of all, I want to know your reaction to these people now around Diddy who are coming out in support of him, saying that he was so sure of his innocence and that that's the reason he didn't take a plea deal in the case that you were involved in where you got shot.
So first and foremost, Brian, thank you for having me back on. And I give very little credibility to what they're saying because while everyone else is Monday morning quarterbacking, I am the survivor. And it is my assertion wholeheartedly that Mr. Combs was inappropriately charged originally. His charges should have mirrored that of Mr. Jamal Shine Barrow. He should have been charged with attempted murder reckless endangerment, criminal possession of a weapon, and firing that weapon in an open environment.
And you bring up Shine. One of the questions that I've gotten several times since the last time we spoke to you is that people want to know whether you believe that Shine was convicted of a crime he didn't commit, because he is the one who ultimately...
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Jamal Shine Barrow admitted on the Combat Jack podcast back in the days, rest in peace to Combat Jack, he admitted that he fired his gun and shot Julius Jones in the shoulder. Mr. Combs did not have accountability for what he did. I physically, who better to tell you what happened than the person who got shot smack dab in between my eyes?
Back then, Natanya, do you feel like they had made up their mind about who they were going to blame for this before they even talked to you, or?
Listen, here's what I know beyond a shadow of a doubt. Respectability politics. He was a notable figure. He was a multimillionaire. He had popularity, fame, all of a perfect storm of you get away with it. We know the country we live in. Unfortunately, those who have the money can oftentimes get away with their crimes. Unfortunately, and those who don't have the same social ranking are overlooked. And that's what has happened. By the grace of God, God saw fit to keep me whole, keep my mind sane and functioning, and keep me alive for such a time as this. And make no mistake, the gravity of the danger and the peril that I face and that I'm exposed to for having my say now, for what was done to me 24 years ago, is not lost on me. But let me make clear beyond a shadow of a doubt, I am not now, nor have I ever been so. I love life. And I'm grateful that God spared my life back on that fateful day on December 27th, 1999. I'm a living miracle.
Yeah, you are
And
clearly
so,
a very...
anything,
Sorry to interrupt you, but you are a very strong woman. I mean, that is very, very clear. And you have done your research, and you deserve to have your voice heard, which is one of the reasons.
And I think it's important for me to say I'm a healthy woman. I live a simple, quiet, risk-averse life. So if I should meet with an untimely demise, it would require and be worthy of deep investigation. I understand the peril of what I am exposing my life to. If God
it's disturbing to hear you say that. I mean, but
to have my say, it's disturbing for me to think it and feel it. But I am healthy. I don't have any intentions of going anywhere. I'm grateful that God spared me, and I plan to live out my life to see my children's lives actualized and realized.
Well,
I don't want to play against semantics.
We appreciate you coming on again, Natanya. I mean, I'm glad you were able to respond to this latest statement from people around Diddy, and we'll continue to give you a voice on this. So thank you, Natanya.
It's dismissive to think that if someone files a lawsuit that they should be ridiculed.
Yeah.
If I didn't suffer, I'm willing to have a doctor remove a part of the 9mm bullet in my face so that they can use it as evidence if need be for this trial. And it may cost me my life.
You would be willing to do that now?
I'm willing to do.
Oh my gosh.
So what do they have to say to that?
Yeah,
I have 9 bullets. I'm sure I can spare one.
Okay, well, we'll be in touch. We'll see how this moves forward. There's a lot of moving parts with Diddy right now, so. Okay, thank you, Natanya.
From the eerie parallels in Aaron Carter's tragic death to the chilling revelations in Kim Porter's diary, the pieces of this sinister puzzle are coming together. But what do you think? Are these just coincidences? Or is there a larger, more disturbing story at play?